One fan on Twitter, there he is, who came to the game with a sign, and you see it there. It's Houston with the asterisks. That sign was taken away. According to Fusaro, this fan was holding this sign as the Astros players walked off the field after the national anthem. A few seconds later, stadium security confiscated it. And I've got Mark Teixeira in studio with me here today. And Tex, Hembo sent me the policy the Astros have on signs. And it said here, the Astros do not permit signs, posters, or banners which are obscene, slanderous, or in bad taste. So that basically says to me, they have the freedom to take away anything they want. They can determine whatever they want is bad taste. Do you think it's a good idea to be taking signs like those away from the fans?
No, because it shows you have very thin skin at this point in the season. And this is only going to get worse when you're on the road. When you are in, places like Texas in your division, Anaheim, Oakland, your division foes, you're going to these places 3 times a year. They are going to hear it from those fans. So you better develop some thick skin, and that's one of the reasons I think they brought Dusty Baker on here. This is a leader. This is a guy that's going to tell these players, hey, listen, guys, you have a job to do. Don't listen to the fans, because the fans will not let up on this Astros team, and they have to be able to handle this better.
There's also an element of this, and you used the expression in our meeting this morning, they haven't worn it. They haven't owned it to some degree. And I think the fans might be a little more inclined to leave them alone if at some point they seem to take full responsibility for what happened here.
Yes, I completely agree, Greeny. And until the Astros players stand up there and truly apologize, the fans are going to take it upon themselves to punish the Astros. The rest of Major League Baseball, the players and fans, basically think the Astros have not been punished. $5 million for the team and a manager and a GM, they're gone. But the players themselves haven't been punished, so the fans are going to punish them.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that generally that's right. And I think that the time for apology has come and gone. Like, there's no part of it now that would feel real if they did it, right? It would feel like they were pandering to all of this negativity.
I agree. They had their shot 2 weeks ago during that first press conference, and they completely blew it. Now it's damage control.
I guess the question I would ask you is, like, when you were on the Yankees and you guys would go to Boston, I mean, the fans would be as loud and as nasty as you could possibly be. Does that affect a player? Like, will this negativity affect the Astros?
It only affects players when you're talking about character things. When you go for 4 and you make an error, yeah, fans are going to boo you, yeah, text you stink. That's fine. But when you get your character attacked the way these Astros are basically being told, you did not earn your World Series. That thing you're so proud of, you didn't earn it. That's going to affect the players on the field. You need to put an asterisk next to the 2017 World Series, because all the fans are putting it next to them anyway. You saw that sign. MLB needs to officially acknowledge that the Astros cheated during the World Series, and in 2017, there will always be an asterisk next to that in the record book. The second thing that you need to do is you need to have harsher penalties. Major League Baseball needs to go out there and say, okay, I know no Astros players were punished here. No suspensions, no fines. But in the future, you are getting suspended for 80 games, just like steroids. First time offender, 80. Next time offender, a full year. And then if you do it a third time, you're out for the rest of your life, because you need to understand, baseball players, that this will not be tolerated. I think fans, if you put that asterisk next to it and you show that, hey, next time this happens, there will be punishment, fans will back off a little bit. And the last thing, congressional members are already talking about an investigation. Let them do it. If I'm Major League Baseball, I would basically just say, I will help you any way I can. I will open up players. I will open up team officials. And if you have Major League Baseball cooperate with an investigation by Congress or a Mitchell report-like investigation, I think it'll go a long way to allowing the fans to get that closure.
And in case you're wondering, I'm always cognizant of the fact that we have a lot of younger people watching the show. I mean, this just happened a generation ago with steroids. Congress absolutely got involved, and that wound up being one of the worst days baseball ever had. But that's a different conversation for a different time. As you look at the idea of putting an asterisk next to the 2017 championship, Buster wrote a piece about some sort of an official censure of them. Is that essentially the same
Very
thing?
similar, yeah. And this is something that baseball can't take away the rings. They can't take away the bonus checks. That would be a disaster. But what you can do is publicly acknowledge in the record books that this 2017 World Series was tainted.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, highlights, and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.